I'm sorry what I said about the bridal people, right, at the SEC. I didn't mean it to sound bad. What I didn't have a brain at the time, right, but I was a bit shocked that people were angry with me. Even though they weren't looking at me, I was a bit shocked at... But anyway, the reason I've come on, right, is because you know how this something borrowed, something blue, something blah 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 blah, it's stale, right? You can hate me or love me, I'm trying to help you, right? It's stale. It just it's lost its vigour, it's lost its cuteness, it's lost its everything. So like I said, when I was making the tiaras, I could not believe that somebody on their wedding day would want to put a piece of wire on their head, right? To me, I would rather wear a flower. I didn't even want to wear a crown on my own wedding day. But anyway, everyone's got their taste, you know. But what I'm thinking is, if the bridal people want to start something fresh about weddings, I've got a fantastic idea that would absolutely rejuvenate the whole bridal process. And like when my clients would come to me, right, I don't know why, but I was thinking, because the Watchtower said that you're supposed to preach even to your business customers, right? So I would leave little leaflets, I'm embarrassed to say this, I would leave little leaflets beside about husbands and wives, and no one ever looked at them and said, what does that, oh that's nice, or can I take a leaflet? But one girl, don't know why, but there was an open conversation about the wedding day, and she asked me a question, and I said, well, to me, what's more important is about after the wedding day. You know, like, what kind of wife are you going to be? What kind of husband are you going to be? Because that big day, I had people coming to me and they were getting married in 2 years, you know, and they were nervous about it already. And I was thinking, right, if I made you a tiara, it would probably rust within 2 years, you know, and they're like, don't you dare go out of business. But anyway, what I'm really trying to say is, see all these traditions, I'm saying this because the Jehovah's Witness traditions, the Jewish traditions, there might be little things that are good in them, like, you know, let's say the Jews, they wear this little square thing on their head to tell them scriptures, and it's, if you put a little square thing, because I made it myself one day, right, if you put a little square thing on your head with the 10 Commandments in it and walk about your house doing your cleaning, unfortunately, your mind will be focused on the 10 Commandments, even though you're cleaning and not thinking about it, because that band is stuck on your head. It's almost like a subliminal psychological thing, right? And it's the same, perhaps, let's say the tradition of the Muslims when they wash their arms halfway up and their feet half. It's like it's a tradition, but you can understand why they do it. It's, let's be clean in our hands and our feet, meaning where we go, let's be clean in our hands, right? And then you can take a tradition from, but where did these traditions, something blue, something borrowed, I mean, come on. You know, and I've got a brilliant idea to completely change the whole image of the substance of weddings, because to me it's not about that day, and I couldn't believe how, and on a wedding day, to me it's how much in love you and your husband are. That's to me is a wedding day, like how much love was there that day, because that's what you're going to remember for the rest of your life. When you're arguing and you see that photo on the side of you and him and his smile, you're going to just think, oh, okay, he did leave his smelly socks out and I've told him 350 times, but look at his wee face. Do you know what I'm saying? But if your wedding day is about, he cracked my nail, he kissed my lips and my lipstick went squint, it ruins your whole marriage. That's what I think, right? Now, don't take my word for it, because I know I'm an absolute loony and I don't know things properly, but I'm just talking about love, and one thing I do think I know about is love. So on your wedding day, if it can be full of romance about you and your husband, not about your guests. Who cares what your guests think? It's about what you both like. Say, for instance, on your wedding day, when you met in a park and an ice rink. You know, you could, have an ice rink theme. If it's about, you know, because your neighbour has got something better than you, it's just going to be dead. It's going to be deader than dead, you know. Anyway, I'm sure you're all sick of my voice today, but my idea is, I think the wedding people were upset with me because they could see this is something new coming. But if I would have liked it if everyone said, or someone even came to me and said, because I didn't know why everyone liked my stuff. If someone had came over and said to me, this is all quite unusual, then perhaps we could have got together and done something more unusual. Like, we could have, because when I make the crown, I look at the person. And let's say, for instance, she's small, I would make it a little bit higher at the back to make her look like her back's standing straighter. And that you could have your wedding day the same. If you don't like being a small person, we could make the wedding day all about you being elevated on a platform. I'm talking about personalising your wedding day that no one else has. It's not about your cutlery or, it's about you. It's about you and being introduced to your husband. So you could have him at the reception, his way, her way at the actual meal, and then both of you together in the evening. Do you know what I'm saying? So it's the traditions that are boring. It's like every year I listen to Christmas songs that actually drive me demented. I feel like poking my eyes out, and I say it to everyone. I can't deal with these songs. It's depressing, right? Now, the super rich don't listen to these songs. They're listening to Vivaldi while they're looking over onto a most beautiful sight of gardens and, chandeliers, and they don't listen to, do you know what I'm saying? So why should the people at the bottom have to listen to that kind of rubbish every year? I think that's what's causing dementia.